So if you're new, what do you do when you start out? Where do you start? Where do you begin? When you first walk into these meetings, it's pretty overwhelming. For me, my first foray into getting sober was December 31st, January 1st, 2009, 2010. It was a New Year's Eve meeting. I went there because it was supposed to be a speaker meeting, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to listen to somebody else talk and leave. And I got there, and it was a small group of people, and the speaker wasn't there, and they decided to have a discussion meeting, which kind of made me want to get up and walk out the door, but I didn't. I sat there, and this group of people is talking back and forth, and they're laughing and joking, and there's this old decrepit man. Um, Him and Jesus went to different high schools together. He's sitting across the room, and he's staring at me, and he looks at me and he says, "What about you, Menard? Who the fuck is this old man talking to?" And he said it again. And I just stared at him. He said, "Well, you won't tell us your name, and it says Menard on your hat, so I'm going to assume that's your name." To this day, he calls me Menard. Um, I consider him a good friend, and he helped save my life. Uh, but when you walk into these rooms and you don't know how it works, it's kind of troubling. And then you'll start hearing people say, get a sponsor, get a home group, get active, do these things. And it's just overwhelming for some people. And here's the thing, you're not unique. You're not alone in this. Every one of us has been in that seat. Every one of us has been to our first AA meeting. When I came in, I had a chip on my shoulder. I was pissed off. I was miserable. Life sucked, and then, after a few 24 hours, things improved, but I was still, I had people say, "I thought you would be happier and nicer." And I'm like, well, I was an asshole long before I was an alcoholic. It's just who I am. The sarcasm, the cynicism, that stuff, that's me. 100%. And I remain true to myself, and sobriety has allowed me to be myself and accept me for who I am, because I'm not, the typical, person. I don't like large crowds of people. I don't really care for people in general, as far as, just I keep to myself a lot. My wife and I, keep to ourselves. Not to say that I don't have friends or anything like that. I just, I tend to stay more to myself, um, which shocks a lot of people, because they see my personality and they're like, and how is it that you're saying you don't like people? Well, you know, I am who I am. So when you come in, you know, you start going to meetings, you start watching and listening, and that's what you need to do. And as far as a sponsor and things like that, you need to look for somebody that has sobriety that you want. They have the type of sobriety that you're looking for in your life. Not to say that they have to be exactly like you, because sometimes a person with an opposite personality is the right fit for you for a sponsor. For me, those old guys, they would call me on my bullshit. They would they wouldn't listen to the lies. They would just call me out. Uh, it's what worked for me. This kindler, gentler AA and NA and all that we have going on now is bullshit for me. "Oh, come here, let me console you." Fuck that. You know, for me, that's not how it worked. I needed those old grouchy people. I needed the ones that, called me out. I needed the ones that beat me up. So when you're sitting in the rooms, start looking for the type of sobriety that you want in your life. If you're an adventurous outdoors type and you seek thrills, you're gonna find those people in AA. If you're quiet, shy, kind of reserved, you're gonna find those people. Just look for your people. As far as meetings go, me personally, I suggest to newcomers they try all kinds of meetings. Um, I think the discussion meetings are a lot more beneficial, especially when you're new. If you go to a big book study or a 12 and 12 or something like that, there's groups that read from Daily Reflections, As Bill Sees It, all the inspirational books. They'll read a passage and then they'll discuss it and how it affects their sobriety or their life. And usually there's a thought for the day and a prayer for the day. Those meetings, I just feel like you get more out of when you're new. because there's many more perspectives that you're hearing. When you go to a speaker meeting, it's that speaker's experience, strength, and hope is what you're listening to, and you can gain a lot from that. But you just tend to, I think, get more when you hear a lot more people's opinions. And they go around the room, and in the discussion meetings, you don't have to say anything. I was told not to say anything for the first year because all I knew how to do was get drunk. I didn't know anything else. Um, but so you don't have to speak. You can just kindly pass. You can't introduce yourself, or you don't have to. You can just, when it comes to you, you can just say, I pass, or I'm just here to listen, or, however you want to respond. But if you seek out those people have what you want, you will slowly find that you'll get that. Um, the sobriety that I want is what I have. It's kind of peaceful, serene, um, sarcastic. My wife and I laugh a lot. We crack each other up, and we'll just sit and laugh and just enjoy life. I refuse to be bitter. And I know that's kind of contradicting, but because I am so sarcastic, you know, what you see is what you get with me. If you want to discuss sobriety, I will discuss it, very seriously. Because I've said it before and I'll say it many more times, to drink is to die for me. Um, but I am who you see. If somebody asks me to speak at a meeting, and I tend to shy away from that if I can, but if I get asked, I will do it if at all possible. Um, but I don't wear a suit and tie. I'm who I am. I will clean up, but I don't wear a suit and tie or anything like that. Um, you know, I make sure that people understand the way that I talk is the way that I talk. You have the ones that'll say, leave that gutter talk outside in the gutter. That's, I use profanity a lot because it's just part of my language. It's who I am. And that's it. I keep myself real all the time. So if you're new, look for those people that have what you want. If you see somebody that's got the stuff that you want in their life, and I don't mean material things, I'm talking about peace, serenity, happiness. I'm happy, joyous, and free these days. Um, and that's the thing, you know, you gotta stay in the program, as far as you gotta stay in your sobriety. You know, when I go to work, the people there know that I'm a recovering alcoholic. We talk about it. I don't hide that fact. You don't have to be like me. I'm very open about it. And that's why people approach me about getting sobers, because they know that I am. So, like I said, when you're new, meeting makers make it. Go to as many meetings as you can, feel them out, find the meetings that work for you. Don't rush into a home. Hit a few different meetings first. Don't rush at a sponsor. Listen to a few people talk first. Um, but those things are important. Home group is important. Sponsor is important. You need somebody to help you through these steps. So hopefully this video wasn't too rambling and babbling. Um, Hopefully somebody gets something out of it. I hope you guys have a great week. You'll probably see me tomorrow. Bye.